Hello and welcome to round 11 of the League of Europe GT3 season. We're here at Barcelona for the penultimate round. Well, this is the, as we see Palmer in the wall, this is the final round that I'll be commentating, unfortunately, as I am unavailable next week. But that should not be too much of a problem, as it looks like, well, Verstappen has just started the race, but Palmer only needs 4th or above to win the championship, and with very low attendance tonight, only 6 drivers, I think that's the lowest attendance we've had all season, which is quite unfortunate, but it means that Palmer is incredibly likely to win the title here tonight. So he's obviously starting in last, but that is only 6th. Apologies for the squeaky chair. Only 6th position for Palmer, so he's just got to bring it on home today, bring it home in 4th, and he will win the League of Europe GT3 Championship. So it is lights out and away we go. So Ibo is leading us off, Verstappen in 2nd, James Head in 3rd. James looks like he's got a pretty good start there, but Palmer's got an excellent start from 6th up to 4th already. I can't change the camera, so I will have to exit and rejoin, but Palmer getting a great start up into 3rd from 6th. He's going to try and go round the outside of Campbell into turn 1, and he does so. So now Palmer, as Ibo has gone off at the first corner. So James Head leads us with Palmer already up in 2nd, Verstappen in 3rd, Campbell in 4th, Zadima down in 5th, and Sir Ibo in 6th. Wow, so that was a good start from Palmer, the championship leader and the very likely championship winner here tonight. He just needs 4th or above, remember, and Campbell would need to win in that case. So this track does suit the Toyota pretty well. It's not, it could be worse for Campbell here tonight, but he'll be very shocked at this. He was mentioning before that he was very surprised at the low attendance. He wasn't informed of how low the attendance would be. Only one person apparently told him that he would not be attending. So it's pretty poor, unfortunately, for my last race commentating. How did you get people into lobby PSN issues? Gran Turismo Sport has its own issues. It doesn't adhere to the issues of PSN. It has enough issues of its own. We've got 5 viewers, that's pretty good. We've got almost as many viewers as we've got people racing, so that's always good. So like I say, very disappointed that this is my last race commentating for the League of Europe GT3 season, and for the for next season as well. I won't be here, unfortunately, but we've got 6 drivers, 6 of quite a few of these drivers, because Verstappen already into the pits on those medium tyres. So obviously not the right tyres to go for in this situation. Well, it looks like I'm trying to change the camera. I've got another comment. Penalty galore. So Palmer's here. Go on, Palmer. Yeah, he's in 2nd. He's on his way. He's just behind James Head. He's not going to be able to make a move there. He moves behind. Zadima is effectively in last at the moment. So Ibo, the most committed driver on the grid, so you cannot fault him for that. It looks like he's turned ABS on now, as I recommended a couple of races ago. So maybe that will improve his fortunes somewhat this race. But James Head has got a pretty healthy lead at the moment. Well, it's not healthy, but Palmer's not right in the back of him, but Palmer is on the medium, so is Campbell, Zadima, Ibo, and Verstappen has made a pit stop and he's onto the softs. He's going to overtake Sir Ibo already as Ibo goes off and spins. 2.5 minutes it took this week, so he seems to be going in the other direction since previous weeks. Palmer chasing down James Head, but he knows that he's got the better strategy at the moment, considering he's only 7 tenths, 8 tenths behind, and he's on the harder compound. Zadima will be pretty disappointed with the first opening laps. He's already 4.5 seconds behind the lead and 3 seconds behind Campbell. We've got a 3-way battle for the lead. The top 3 separated by just over 1.5 seconds. So apologies if it ends up being a bit dry tonight. There's unfortunately not much we can do, considering there are only 6 drivers, and with Sir Ibo so far behind, that makes it effectively 5, unfortunately. So it's not ideal. Not ideal. It's not what I expected for. That's not what Palmer will want for his championship win. It's not what Campbell will want after organising the season. It's not what I want after this being my final commentary for the league. So it is quite disappointing. But we move on. I'm sure the guys ahead, well, hopefully they're going to give us a good race. As the championship leader pulls out of the pit lane. any difference in refueling. They've got pretty similar fuel levels. Verstappen's obviously had a good little run on those softs, and he's right back on the back of Palmer and Campbell. So that switch onto mediums working pretty well for him there. That switch onto softs, sorry, off of the mediums. Obviously was not happy with those medium tyres at the beginning of this race. Interesting to see the different lines between Palmer and Campbell here. Palmer taking a much deeper line into turn 2, 3, 4. I knew it was turn 4, I just had to make sure. And I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. But Palmer is in second. James Head's got quite a healthy lead, like I said, but that's obviously... Oh, he's got a penalty as well, so he'll have to serve that. He'll have to serve that on the main finish straight, so that's not what he would have wanted. And Palmer, Campbell and Verstappen are all going to be right on him when he emerges out the pit lane after doing his first stint on the soft tyres. Zadima will be looking to catch up as quickly as possible and try and get in on this what is effectively a four-way battle for the lead once James Head comes out of the pits. Well, when he makes his stop, which is now. And he did serve his penalty, to be fair. So I don't think that will warrant a penalty. He didn't serve it in the allocated space, but he did serve it into the pit lane. He did lose probably more time than he did lose more time than on the straight, but he did get rid of that penalty in its entirety. So he's lost a place to Palmer and Campbell and Verstappen as well. Zadima is going to be right on the back of him. And Zadima's on the soft, so Zadima looking to pounce on 4th place here. Campbell needs to get ahead of Palmer as quickly as humanly possible and try and extend that gap, and he needs his teammate really to pick up the pace and try and knock Palmer down a peg or two. Palmer needs to finish 5th in this race, and Campbell needs to win for the championship to continue. Well, the championship fight to continue over to the final round at Le Mans next week, which unfortunately will not be I will not be streaming it. Someone else may if the championship runs over. But at the moment, it looks like Palmer is going to take his... Let me check how many wins he has got so far this season. I believe it's 6. Palmer setting the fastest middle sector, as I'm just going to exit and rejoin. It's got some strange sounds going on. But I'm just checking the standings. So Palmer has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. I was right, he has 6 wins so far. Campbell's had a pretty good run recently. Of course, he missed the first round. He got 2nd, 1st, 4th, 2nd, 1st, 3rd, 3rd, and he's had 2 wins in a row in the last 2 races at Spa and Laguna Seca. He'll be hoping to carry that run on here, but it could be a futile effort as Palmer actually sets the fastest lap, pulling away half a second from Campbell. So Palmer obviously got the advantage on pace at the moment, and it looks like he's going to be taking that championship win here tonight. He does run slightly deep into turn 2 though, so that wasn't really ideal. He's going to lose a little bit of time throughout this whole section now. He's probably lost half a second or so there. As you see again, these two drivers taking very different lines. Palmer going way out to the outside through turn 4. In fact, I've just realised that these two drivers are the only 2 drivers to have won a race this season, so it really has been a 2-horse race. It was very close between Campbell, Zadima, Chise and James at one point midway through the season, while Campbell was still trying to make up for that deficit he lost after missing the first round. But no, realistically it's been between these two, even with that missed race from Campbell. With that missed race from Campbell, it would be much closer. If Campbell won or even just participated and got a podium, the title would almost certainly be carrying over to next week, and we would have a proper championship finale at the last race of the season. But here it's still possible, but it's very unlikely with only 6 drivers. Realistically, you would need a disconnect for Palmer for the or a big bottle engine damage at the very start of the lap. And yeah, it's very, very unlikely for it to happen. Actually, just ended damage because there's only 6.5 seconds between the top 5, as Zadima does need to serve a penalty. But it doesn't need a catastrophic bottle, or catastrophic luck, I should say. But it's possible. But Palmer, obviously, he's going to keep his head. He's not going to take any risks. He's just going to try and bring it home in one of those top 4 positions and win the championship here tonight. I'm sure Sharon and Neil at home will be whipping out the champagne if he does take the championship here at Barcelona. So not too much battling going on at the moment, considering there are only 6 cars, as I have mentioned. So apologies if it sounds a bit dry or it's getting a bit boring. I do apologise, but not really much we can do at this stage. We're back, and there's a few pretty big gaps forming. Unfortunately, it's not really what we want to see. This isn't what we want to see. As Campbell does actually now pull into the pits, so obviously a different strategy call, trying to get that undercut on Palmer, trying to make the most of the fresh soft tyres, I presume, as he's already done his medium stint. So comes out behind James and Zadima as well. Obviously he's effectively ahead of them because he's a pit stop ahead, so he should get them back. As Zadima loses the back end wildly out of turn 2. Oh, that was nearly a massive bottle from Campbell there. So we've just, apologies for missing pretty much the only overtake of the night, but we've just seen Zadima get absolutely mugged by Campbell there. Oh, and he's going to try and take him back, as Campbell really struggling to get hold of that Toyota all over the place at the moment. But he's come out, but I don't think he will be overtaking Palmer this time around, considering he had that a couple of pretty wild moments there and that battle with Zadima. So I doubt he's going to come out ahead. He actually lost quite a lot of time to oh yeah, wrong person, but no, he is going to stay behind. He hasn't lost much time. He's only lost a few tenths or so, if that. He may have even gained yes, he's gained a couple of tenths, but he should have really have been gaining a second or so, considering that lap well, that out lap was very compromised, let's say. That's typical, isn't it? That I almost miss. Luckily, we still would have been on stream, but I was just looking away at the moment that Campbell made the first overtake of the evening, aside from the obvious ones on lap 1 or 2. But Palmer not pulling away as much as he probably would have liked, but those tyres obviously just warming up slightly. Campbell will surely drop back as the laps go on those one lap older. Although it is only one lap, you wouldn't expect it to make a difference. On GT, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference, one lap in the tyres. So you would expect over the next couple of laps that Palmer will be able to pull away slightly. 43 minutes remaining of this race. It's a long old race with only 6 drivers. Savo must be on pad, surely. It's my weekly analysis of Ribbo. Surely he's on pad. He's on a wheel. I've got no idea. He must be on pad. If I believe he is on pad, yeah. I've got another comment. I am really sorry that it's quite dry at the moment. And I'm thankful to everyone watching, but no, there's not much action going on at this stage. 6 cars and an hour-long race with no aids such as enhanced boost or slipstream. It's always gonna probably end up like this. But it's not about the race today. So long as there is no issues, today will be about celebrating Palmer's victory of the championship. I don't want to speak too soon, I'm going to touch wood, but it's looking increasingly unlikely that Campbell is going to be able to take that victory. Like I said, it would realistically need a disconnect from Palmer to lose him the title, which would be a shame. It would be a real shame, considering I can't make it next week. But if something like that does happen, I'm sure we will work something out so Palmer does get the recognition he deserves, or Campbell, if he wins it next week, gets the recognition he deserves as well. But at the moment it's looking, like I say, Palmer still not pulling away massively from the QBR driver in the Toyota, but no, he's not pulling away as we would like, but he's just actually gained half a second there or thereabouts. So maybe those fresher softs are really kicking in now. typical, isn't it? The moment I look away, the one moment I look away, there always seems to be an overtake. Yeah, Charles, I know. It's quite a disappointing one, unfortunately. It's not how I would have wanted to end. Oh, as it goes on the gravel. Not how I would have wanted to end my time as an GT3 commentator. I'm guessing you did, Charles. I'm guessing you did sort out your rig in the end. Hopefully you did tell Campbell, and hopefully you are the one person that did tell him before not racing tonight. Otherwise that's a bit awkward. Apologies for that. Residential assistant, they might. Oh, as we just catch Palmer nearly spinning. Yeah, nothing to worry about on my end. Just the residential assistant coming to. Basically, the room next to mine has no one in it, so every week they have to come and flush the sink out to make sure it doesn't clog up or something. So we're back, and we're back hopefully with less interruptions. What's going on with PSN and the battle between Palmer and Campbell? Well, Campbell's gone for an undercut. Oh, look at those tyres. Oh, look at the difference in those tyres. Just flick between them and you'll see the difference in the tyres. But Campbell went for an undercut and unfortunately did not pay off as he got caught up battling with Zedima, and he lost the back end a couple of times as he now goes for another undercut. His second attempt. Second time lucky, maybe. Trying to maybe try and make this undercut work this time after he had some bad luck with it last time. He had a mistake on his own behind Zedima, and then he obviously was attacking and got past Zedima as well, so that cost him time. He didn't lose any time, but he certainly did gain as much as he would have liked to. So Palmer, you would assume, will come in this lap. His tyres were in much better condition than Campbell's were, but luckily for Campbell this time he's going to be out ahead of any traffic, so he's just got to get his head down, push as hard as he possibly can and try and get ahead of the Cymax driver. He's also refueled to almost half a tank, so let's see how much Palmer puts in and whether that will be the difference between them. No, not a lot of drivers today, unfortunately, Charles. Yes, so don't remind me or it will just make me sad. But we will make the most of it, as we always do. But it's just a shame that of all races, this is the worst attendance of the season. So Palmer will probably try and stretch out, save a pit stop. Yeah, I can see that he's got a 16-second gap. But if you look at his fuel in the bottom left, he hasn't got much left, so he could probably last another lap. But that would probably involve some fuel saving. So I would expect him to probably box this lap for fuel. So Palmer does make that pit stop. Let's see how much fuel he puts in. He's now up to 50%. So is Campbell going to be able to get past him? It's going to be close. He may actually have made the undercut work here. And it looks like he has. It looks like he is able to get himself past the race leader, SMM Palmer. And Campbell is now in the lead. And we finally, after all these 25 minutes, we have a battle on our hands between the championship rivals. This will be good to see. These two drivers will just be having a bit of fun, I'm sure. They're all in a party together, so I'm sure they will... pardon me, I had a complete brain melt then. No, I'm sure they'll be having a lot of fun in that party together, getting some battles going. All they need to do is tell each other to slow down and have another battle. Give us some more entertainment. So let's ride on board with Palmer, round a few laps of the track, see if he can try and catch up to the QVR driver. He has got a slight bit more fuel, so that probably will put him back ahead, but Campbell has put himself right in the mix with this undercut. If he can stay ahead, then he'll bring himself right back into it, but it all relies on him staying ahead. And because he's obviously gained 2.5 seconds in that pit stop, or more like 3 seconds. But as he's losing the back end again, that Toyota really unhappy. I think he probably needs to shift the brake bias forwards, but that of course does on GT Sport. That increases the front tyre wear, so he probably doesn't want that either. So it is going to be tricky as Palmer almost understeers off into the gravel out of the final corner, but we're now down the long straight. He's within the slipstream zone. Look at the gap tumble. He's in the more powerful car as well, so it's already down to 6 tenths, 5.5 tenths now, then 5, so he's definitely catching a few tenths on the main straight in that more powerful Mercedes, but he's gone pretty deep into turn 1, so he's going to have a compromised run out of turn 2, up through turn 3 now, taking much different lines there, and Campbell swooping in and taking the apex late, and he's actually managed to retain that gap pretty well for now. And more different lines through here. Interesting that the drivers take such... It looks like they've almost swapped round now. Palmer not going as deep as he was earlier in the race, and Campbell going deeper, so they've sort of met in the middle there with the lines they're taking through turn 4. But Campbell doing a pretty respectable job of holding off Palmer for the time being. Verstappen's in 3rd, Sudima in 4th, James Head 5th, Sir Ibo in 6th. But Palmer is now right on the back of Campbell. He's got a 3.5 tenth gap. He had a much better run through turn turn 8. Apologies, turn 8 through turn 9 and 10 now. Palmer right on the back of his championship rival QVR Campbell. Like I said earlier, he won't want to be taking any risks. Although it looks like he looked like he was almost going to go for a dive up into there. Cymax having a new livery as well. Has he got it on now? I can't really tell. I don't think it's new. Is it just the new... a bit awkward. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because RLH are going to beat Cymax in a few weeks anyway. But we won't discuss that here. That's a tale for another day. But Campbell fending off Palmer pretty well. We've got a nice battle for the lead here. This is what we've been wanting the whole race. Hopefully that they're not going to take each other out, because that would that would really throw the cat amongst the pigeons for the rest of the final race of the season. But Campbell's actually still got the fastest lap. Palmer not setting a purple sector, but he is right on the bumper of the QVR driver. Verstappen doing a pretty respectable job up in 3rd, but he is, it looks like a pit stop behind. He still needs to make an additional stop compared to the others. Is Palmer going to... Oh, Palmer's got a penalty. That's a pretty big moment there. So he's got to serve that half-second penalty, although he served some of it there accidentally. You can't really help doing that unless you go off full flat out through the corner. he won't. So he's going to have to serve the rest of that penalty down the main straight. But this is pretty helpful for Campbell to help him hold off the QPR driver for an extra lap. Another lap in the clear for Campbell for now. Serve it, that's it. So losing a lot of time there, more like almost a second he's lost from that what was effectively a 3 tap. Well, I think he did lift off a little more to make up for the time he lost. Well, I don't think the strategy, Charles saying Paul's making the strategy work perfectly, I'm sure he is, but I don't think it was quite in the plan to get that 1 second penalty. And that, as he's run wide there as well, so that could be another penalty for running wide at turn 3. Is he going to be penalised for that? Yes, he is. Chides, you've jinxed it. He's now 2 seconds behind and he's got an additional penalty. So this has blown the doors wide open on this race. Not necessarily on the championship. Palmer still with a healthy gap to Verstappen and to Dima behind him. It looks like we're going to have a good battle between those two in a moment, so we'll keep an eye on that. Dima on paper the quicker driver, but maybe Verstappen has got to grips with his car towards the end of the season and can put up a fight against the Dima XL driver, sorry. Sharon giving a face palm. Yeah, he's hopefully he won't crack too much more under the pressure of this race here tonight, because he does deserve it. He really does. No one's really been able to touch him all season, quite frankly. So it would be a shame if we missed his title celebrations, or whoever it is, title celebrations next week. But if you look at the fuel difference, this will be Campbell's final lap, where it looks like Palmer can go 3 or 4 laps further. Maybe I'd probably predict 3. Go on, Palmer, serve the pen. That's it. Should have changed down there really. He's stuck in 5th gear there. So now the gap is 3 seconds between Palmer and Campbell. So this is playing more into Campbell's hands than he would have expected. Palmer obviously a couple of mistakes there that have really cost him. So it'll be interesting to see what that gap is like after they both make their pit stop. Dima still 8 tenths behind Verstappen, so we will follow this battle for the time being, as I just need to grab some water very, very quickly. Joining at the right time there. Palmer and Campbell both picked at the same time. Obviously Palmer covering off that undercut, and since he had more fuel in the car at the time of pitting, they put in Campbell's put in a little bit more fuel. Right, he's got more in the tank as of now. So yes, they're now on the same strategy now for the rest of the race, until obviously Campbell may try another undercut and try and push his way past once again, strategically. But no, for the time being, Palmer is has the advantage once again. Obviously covering off that undercut from Campbell. That's the advantage that Campbell did not have being behind Palmer. When Palmer's behind Campbell, he can tell obviously when he's pitting and he can follow him in straight away. Whereas when Campbell is behind him, he obviously cannot tell if he's going to head in this lap unless he waves a big sign about saying I'm pitting or tells him in the party or whatever. But Palmer now in control of this race. But still a 1 second gap between the top two. Verstappen's actually pulled away from Zedema, which no offence to Verstappen, I did not expect. So fair play to him. Verstappen driving a really good race here. Although there's only 6 drivers, you can't take away that he's definitely deserving of this 3rd spot for the time being. We'll see if that progresses into a podium position at the end of the race. But it's advantage Palmer as we head into the final 24 minutes of this race. Welcome back, apologies for that short break there. But what we missed is Campbell setting the fastest lap of the race. And he's right back on the tail of Palmer, so this race... Oh, apologies, this race is not over yet. 7/10 of a second is the gap, and Campbell has more fuel in the car at the moment. So it is really... I've got no idea who's going to win it now at this stage of the race. So I don't know if we'll see an overtake. It's going to be pretty difficult for the Toyota with its less powerful engine to get past the more powerful Mercedes. But Campbell is a man on a mission at the moment. The gap is now 4/10 of a second, and he is storming towards Palmer. He's lost a little bit of time through that chicane there, coming through turn 8. Really, he's going balls to the wall now, pedal to the metal, and he is going all out to try and get past or just get as close to Palmer as he can before their next round of pit stops, which will be in a few laps. Oh, and he's getting really close. I don't know what Palmer's doing now. Maybe he's a bit rattled, or maybe he had a mistake or something. But Campbell's actually lost time there, nearly going into the back of the Mercedes. That would have been a pretty controversial moment, as they're actually coming up to Sir Ibo now. So we can ride on board from him. He's going to cut the chicane. It looks like he's going to let him through. No, he's going to pull into the pit, so that'll probably be a penalty for him. An in-game penalty, that is. But we can ride on board from the back of Verstappen's, from Palmer's car, looking back at Campbell, pulling away on the straights, slowly but surely. That slipstream zone being reduced to about 7.5 tenths. So Campbell not having the advantage of slipstream there, so he's maybe missed his opportunity there. Maybe going a bit too deep into turn 9 cost him. Campbell not giving up on this battle yet. He looks like he's still got the pace here. He's caught up another 0.4 of a second at the start of this lap. He is really on it. Very obviously last two laps both 43.8 then a 44.8, so a second difference. So I was about to say really consistent, but no, it wasn't. But Palmer's last lap was also 44.8. It's just a bit different in tone. That's what we love GT racing, the absolute variety in cars. You just have to listen to the tone of the engines and them revving to notice the difference. The grunt of the Mercedes versus the acceleration and the whining engine of that Toyota FT1. Even though the FT1, of course, is not a real car, it provides some great racing and some great sounds as well. Gap now only 0.6 of a second, so Campbell will have the advantage of a slipstream. So he should, yes, he is. Look, if you look at the top left, that gap, well, even with the less powerful Toyota, he will have a slight slipstream, and he will have a slight straight line speed advantage going down to turn 1. The gap now 0.4 of a second. This race has been thrown wide open, but it looks like Palmer might have been saving a little bit of fuel. I can't tell if that gap between their fuel levels has decreased or not, but Palmer may have been saving a little bit of fuel, but that could definitely be something to look out for. Maybe Campbell losing his pit stop advantage due to Palmer saving it, and he's just able to hold him off down the straights. Running up to turn 9 now. Campbell, the gap only 0.3 of a second. He is, like I said, he is a man on a mission right now. He wants this win. He will want to rain on Palmer's parade just ever so slightly after missing out on the title, it would seem. Palmer just needs to finish 4th. Well, Palmer just needs 4th or above. And then if he finishes 5th, Campbell needs to win. So, like I said earlier, providing there's no major issues like a huge crash or a disconnect, Palmer should have the title in the bag, touch wood. We'll look at this. The gap is now only 0.2 of a second. Campbell, he's going to go to the outside of turn 1. We're going to have a proper battle on our hands for the lead of the race. Is Campbell going to be able to go around the outside? Yes, he is. And he's going to now go to the inside line for turn 2, and he makes the move stick. He is now up into P1. But Palmer trying to carry the speed around the outside, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it there. And he's going to get a great run out of turn 4, but he don't run too wide, Palmer. You get a penalty, but he hasn't. He hasn't run too wide. He's got a great run. Campbell goes defensive. Palmer's going to look round the outside of turn 4. He's going to go for the cutback now. But Campbell parks it nicely on the apex, and there's no room for Palmer to make a move. He's going to maybe have a look with his nose into turn 5. Campbell surprisingly keeping the door open, but the acceleration of that Toyota gives him the advantage coming out of turn 6 into turn 7 and 8. Palmer still right. We have got some excitement, thank the Lord. And if you look at that, Palmer's going to have to pit this lap. Campbell could go an extra lap, but I would assume Campbell would go in this lap. But Palmer's going to try and go for a move up into turn 9, 10, I think. And he does. Campbell looking for the switchback. They're going to go side by side, but Campbell gets a pretty squirrely exit out of turn 10, and Palmer retakes the lead. We've got a proper battle on our hands for the lead of the race here now. This is excellent, excellent stuff. What we've been waiting for all night, really. Let's ride on board with Campbell. Are they both going to... You'd assume they both pit this lap, to be honest, especially since Palmer has to pit and Campbell will want to cut off any other. No, Campbell stays out. Oh no, that's not what I would have expected. That's not what I'd do. I would have followed him straight in with that fuel advantage. Oh God, that's not what I would have done. Hopefully it pays off for him, because that is a very, in my view, questionable strategy on that amount of fuel and that amount of tyre wear. Palmer's going to be on those fresh softs. Oh, Campbell, I feel like that was the wrong decision. So I think the advantage falls back in Palmer's hand. He's going to get an undercut. Oh God, I don't know what's going to happen. It's all kicking off here towards the end of this race. Needed a sip of water. But what Campbell needs to do now, tell his teammates slow down effectively, and hold up Palmer. That's what he needs. But I don't think Palmer's going to catch Verstappen unless Verstappen has an incident or slows down. So the gap is 14.5 seconds. Let's see what that decreases to by the end of this. And if it does decrease at all, you never know. Maybe Campbell would have had the stint of his life. But it's already 14.2. He's probably a second a lap quicker, you would assume, maybe more. QBR team orders again. Well, that's what Campbell will be hoping, but it doesn't look like it. They're almost towards the end of the lap now. But maybe there will be some team orders when Campbell comes out, and maybe, well, not team orders, but maybe a bit of team tactics going on. But the gap, yeah, he's caught up a second and a half effectively this lap. Campbell pulls into the pits now, pretty much perfectly timed, but I feel like he may have missed his opportunity. He should have followed Palmer in my opinion, but he is going to have those better tyres towards the end of the race. But I believe the Mercedes is better on its tyres than the Toyota. But it's going to be a straight shootout in these final 13 minutes. Palmer and Campbell and Verstappen are crossing the line now, and Palmer stays ahead of Campbell. Don't know why my voice did that, but Campbell is in third position now. He's got 3.6 seconds to Palmer, and now maybe team orders will be coming into play as Palmer catches the back of Verstappen. Verstappen needs to hold off the Cyrus Works driver, but you would assume that Verstappen would have to make his pit stop this lap. So he's only got one lap to try and help his teammate catch up that 3.8 seconds gap. Otherwise, Campbell's got to do it himself. So this is now the pivotal moment in the race. Verstappen, can he hold off Palmer long enough to decrease that gap between Campbell, his teammate Campbell, and the Mercedes of Palmer? He's done a pretty good job now. Palmer's definitely losing time there, but he's going to maybe go for a move up into the... No, he's not. He's going to think better of it. That will be a pretty ridiculous move to go for, but now he's going to go try around the outside of the final chicane. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of that as well. No move there as Verstappen pulls into the pits, and he's actually... QBR Campbell, if he wins this race, he has Verstappen to think for that, because he's caught him. He's gained Campbell a second of time there. So that is a huge, huge gain for the Toyota QBR driver. As Campbell, we've just rejoined, and Campbell has got a penalty, so we have to serve that on the straights. That's really not what you wanted. Come on, Campbell. We want a battle in the final 10 minutes of the race as we approach the final stages. It's back to advantage Palmer now. Campbell, I feel like that was a wrong strategy call. I feel like he should have pitted at the same time as Palmer, and they would have had a proper straight shootout to the end of the race. Now Campbell's got to rely on Palmer's tyres wearing off before his, and with the tyre wear of that Toyota, they look actually pretty even already. So he's back to square one, back to 3.5 seconds. I think that might be it for Campbell's race and his championship hopes here tonight. I think my prediction now, obviously it was always on the start, but my prediction, Palmer will win and Palmer will take the championship. Are there any other battles? Yes, we've got Verstappen on the back of Zadima. Verstappen doing a stellar job here tonight. Really good race from him. Right on the back of Dan. Is he going to go for a move? Dan still needs to do an extra pit stop compared to Verstappen. So Palmer's tyre, yes, I've noticed that they are, like I say, Chai saying Palmer's tyre wear is pretty amazing. Yes, that has been a common thing throughout the season, been able to make the overcut work quite often. But now we have Verstappen right on the back of the XL representative here tonight. XL Zadima, XL Dan, XL Ling, whatever you want to call him, wherever as many names he's been. Verstappen is right on the back of him, but that very powerful Jag should be able to hold its own on the straight, but he will be pitting this lap with that fuel level. So Sir Ibo is off. Palmer with a 4.3 second gap to Campbell. It looks all over. Only 6 laps or so remaining in this race. XL underscore name change. Yep, that's Dan, that's Zadima, that's Ling, whatever you want to call him. So Verstappen and Zadima both filling into the pits now. Verstappen should get the jump on him with that extra amount of fuel he has. And he's maybe a bit of an alternate strategy there, not a convenient, not a typical strategy, but obviously just covering off any undercut that Dan would get pitting earlier. So covering off nicely, and like I say, excellent job from Verstappen here tonight. Probably my driver of the day, his best race of the season, I would say. Even with 6 drivers, he's driven exceptionally well here tonight. Palmer and Campbell, as usual, in a league of their own, but best of the rest, definitely Verstappen here this evening. So the closest battle we have on track at the moment is Zadima on Verstappen. He's caught up a few tenths on this lap. Campbell is now dropping back from Palmer needs to pit. Palmer needs to pit. I completely didn't realise Palmer is going to be boxing this lap. That's not what I expected. Maybe that's why Campbell's been dropping back. He's been saving fuel. Palmer. What are you doing? I hope he's just giving us a show. And he... Yeah, Chase, what's going on? What is going on? What is he doing? Is he fuel saving? Is it... I'm shocked. I'm absolutely lost for words. I think Palmer may have just absolutely thrown this race away. I am completely and utterly lost for words. Surely he's realised. I've never been this speechless. If he pulls this off, it will be absolutely amazing. Campbell has now caught up a second on this lap. I am just in absolute shock. Chise said he's bottled it. I don't know about that. Maybe it was his plan all along, but Jesus Christ, I am absolutely shocked. I'm mind my language, but Jesus. Right, this is not what I expected towards the end of this race. I was sure Palmer was just going to cruise it on home, take a win, and win the championship in style. Maybe he wants a battle across the last 2 laps, but I don't know what the hell he's doing. Nope, that's a bottle, says Chise. Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't look planned, but I don't know why he wouldn't have pitted last lap. He's in. He just forgot about fuel. Palmer, 1%, so he comes in. Is he going to change tyres? He is. I wouldn't have changed tyres if I was him. Splash and dash. He's bottled it. He has well and truly bottled it. Oh, Palmer. It does not like it matters. It doesn't matter considering he's won the championship effectively. I mean, what would top it all off now if he was to... I don't want to even say it. I'm not going to say it, but if you know what I mean. It would top it all off now if it all went wrong and he didn't win the championship here tonight. Touch wood, that's not going to happen. But that was a very uncharacteristic... Sharon calls him a dingus. Yeah. Oh, as he's run... No! Palmer! Stop it! Stop giving me a heart attack. Oh my god. My blood pressure's obviously just gone through the roof. Wow. This is not how I expected the end of this race to go. Palmer very nearly bottling it there, and he could have lost... If he proper bottled it there, he would have lost the positions to Verstappen and Zadima. And then he wouldn't have won the championship here tonight, and we would miss it next week. So, Palmer, come on. Bring it home. Don't bottle it, please. So unless he catches up 6 seconds in one lap, Campbell has gotten the better of Palmer tonight. An obvious error in Palmer's strategy, according to Chise, obviously down to him not making the strategies, not being present here tonight. Well, I blame it on you then, Chise. It's all your fault. So just 17 seconds. This is the final lap of the race. Drive of the day for me would have to go to Kvyat Verstappen. Excellent drive from him today. James Head not as in it as he was normally like to be. Not sure why that is tonight. Not quite on the pace. I'm sure he'll be disappointed, but there is next week where the Lexus will be a strong contender at Le Mans with those huge straights. Palmer's actually caught up 2.5 seconds or so on this lap, so he could still win it. You never know if he catches that 4 seconds in the final sector. I doubt it. I really doubt it. Yeah, me too, Sharon. I'm sad. Unfortunately, university, my first year this year, got here a few weeks ago, and unfortunately, I have other commitments on Wednesdays, so that's why I've been doing it bi-weekly this season. And then next season, I unfortunately won't be participating at all. Yeah, no worries, Chais. It's been a really good season to commentate. As there's a crash to end it off. That sums up Ibo's season. Campbell wins the race, but Palmer crosses the line as the League of Europe GT3 champion. He has won the title here tonight. Apologies for missing that. I was just reading the comments. But Palmer crosses the line as the champion. Campbell, a worthy opponent, crashing into Sir Ibo, or the game crashing him into Sir Ibo at the end there, as you may have heard my stream in the background, so hopefully you didn't hear that. I hope that didn't cause any distractions. James Head is going to cross the line, but Palmer wins the championship. Excellent drive from him. Well, not excellent drive from him tonight, not what you would have wanted tonight, but excellent season from him. Well and truly, thoroughly deserved the championship. Campbell, a worthy contender. If he was to have that extra race that he missed out at the start, maybe it would have been different, but Campbell is the winner here tonight. But for this season, the championship hands over from Campbell to SMM Palmer. So instead of the usual, I'm going to ask Campbell to invite me to his party. If not, I'll invite the podium sitters, because of course all the drivers are in one party together. Palmer just typing something, probably a message of thanks. GG. So they're not actually in a party, they are in a Discord call for some strange reason. Oh, you're joking. Is that a PSN issue? Let me try. Oh, that's a real shame. Start a party. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, yeah, there's obviously no parties going on, so I'm going to try and make do. I've got you on the Discord call, holding you up to my mic, so not quite professional settings, but congratulations on winning the title. Very well and thoroughly deserved. How does it feel?
Pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, of course, after missing out to Campbell last season, of course, it's very good to beat him this season. Of course, yeah, I kind of messed up strategy in that race because I would have loved to get that win, but hey ho, at least it's another podium. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think Tice is quite happy as well. He couldn't make it because I think he's building his rig. Yeah, he's building his rig. So, and I don't think he had a place to put his monitor. So, yeah, I've already seen the Sidemax Discord and Tice in all caps going, "Yes, come on, Palmer." I didn't hear my mum cheer or anything, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, Yeah, I mean, it was quite a good race. Of course, the ending was, a bit boring.
There's Sharon.
But yeah, I mean, it was really nice to have a nice battle as well with Campbell. He got me round the outside turn one, which I said because I was being his discourse. I said to him, it's a really good move, and of course I managed to get him on the inside going to turn 10 because of the acceleration of the Toyota, which is so bad. But yeah, of course I'm looking forward to next week. Of course that's going to be quite fun, but I don't think there's going to be a stream for it, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately not, but there is one thing, there's the elephant in the room. What the hell was that at the end with that fuel?
Well, yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing with strategy, to be honest. I was just kind of driving. So, with that...
Chai said it's because he wasn't there. He didn't do the strategy.
Yeah, I didn't even know how many laps there were or anything. I wasn't even keeping on the time until, the last pit stop. So, yeah, basically, I got to, the final corner, and I didn't go to the pits. And then I looked at my fuel, I had 0.8, so I just had to short shift the whole the whole lap, and managed to just about make it.
Yeah, 1% it was as you got in.
Yeah, it was quite interesting as well to see the pace difference with the with my new softs, my new tyres, and of course Campbell's 8 lap old tyres, and of course when I came over the line for the final lap. Well, to go on to the final lap, of course, I think I was 5.9. And then, of course, as I was over the line, of course, I was 3.9. So,
yes.
At 2 seconds. So, yeah, and Campbell said if there was another lap, it probably would have been very, very close.
But there wasn't. There wasn't. So, but no, excellent job. Poor, maybe not the way you would have liked to have done it here tonight. Would have liked to seal it with a win, but nevertheless, thoroughly deserved championship win. Congratulations! And now I'm sure you're going to have some celebrations. I'm sure Sharon's readying the champagne as we speak. So have a good night and enjoy yourself. You deserve it.
Thank you very much. Also, I can't. It's a school night. So.
It's a school night. Still, it doesn't matter. It's time for the champagne. Right. Goodbye, Palmer, and I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you. Bye-bye.
So I'll see if Campbell... I will just try and call Campbell. Just to get his thoughts. If not, I'm sure it's not that essential. But maybe he'll want to give his thoughts. We'll give it a few more seconds, see if he picks up the phone. No, I don't think Campbell is available for a chat. But this has been the League of Europe GT3 season. Hopefully you heard all that, actually. Hopefully it didn't cut that out. Congratulations to our podium sitters tonight. Verstappen, excellent job, my driver of the day. Campbell with the win. But Palmer, P2, that was enough for him to seal his championship. This is me signing off. My last race as the League of Europe GT Sport commentator. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned a few times in this evening, I am not able to participate for the next round or next season. So this is my final round. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure to commentate, and I'm sure maybe I'll be on another League of Europe or maybe even another GT Sport stream in the near future. Thank you everyone for watching. Goodbye.